What elementary school did you go to, and when did you first want to be a part of Twilight Zone? Like, what age were you when you started to get influenced by it?
Like 10.
What elementary
Like
you
10.
went to?
I went to two. See, I went to elementary down here on our end, and I went to elementary down there on my end. You know what I'm saying? I went to Birch Elementary, and I went to 107th Elementary.
And what was going on with you at 10 years old?
I mean, shit, man, like, you know, my mom's a single parent. You know, shit, the first time I wanted to strap was to shoot her motherfucking boyfriend for the bullshit he was doing in the house. So, you know, I'm tapping in at the homies. They like, what the fuck this little motherfucker want this for? You know, I was able to get my hands on my things and do certain shit. And then, you know, like, them was the niggas in the hood that, you know, I respected. Like, I remember being a youngster, man, and seeing the incident with the homies. And I'm like standing in my doorway in the quarters at my granny house, right? And you know, some homies and some other cats had some words and shit, and I watched one of the G homies like put down like 6, 7 niggas like with his hands, and the other homies get cracking on these niggas and all that, and I'm like, oh, cuz, that was hard. My granny like, get your little ass in the house, but you know, I was already sold on what I wanted to do, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, shit, at that time, I was so naive enough to think that I could play in the NFL and gangbang all at the same time.
So what was you witnessing at 10 years old going on with your mom and her boyfriend?
Just some abusive shit, you know what I'm saying? Mom's been a working woman trying to take care of me and my brother and sister, and you got a shithead in the house that don't give a fuck about y'all, you know what I'm saying? So that naturally made me like a violent person, because now, like, the one person that brought me into this world, it's my job to protect you, you know? Competing with a grown man to fuck you up, like, damn, I can't even protect my peoples, but you know, we got up out that situation, you know, and that shit made me stronger, but that shit also made me an animal, homie, like, for real, to where, like, a motherfucker get violent, you know what I'm saying? So, motherfuckers just working on trying to be more cool, calm, and mellow, you know?
Well, we call that childhood trauma.
Exactly, that's exactly what it is. Fuck the nigga up as a kid, you know what I mean? Real shit.
What elementary school did you go to, and how old were you when you started to embrace Twilight Zone?
You know, I started, like, back in the day, like, originally, like, majority of, like, my mother and uncles and all that, majority of blacks, they was coming from Louisiana South, you know, like, moving this way, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of them piled up in the jungles, you know, back in the days and different things. So that's where I was conceived in Louisiana, but my mother left my father pregnant, came out here. So majority of people was in the jungles. My uncle was already out here, and her sisters and stuff. So I went to numerous elementaries in South Central, you know what I'm saying, which I was originally from South Central, growing up jungles. Then we moved on 96 in Van Ness. Back in the days, we used to get dropped off at a lot of aunties' house, and we be with their kids. So I went to Raymond Elementary, you know what I'm saying? I went to Gardena Elementary. I went to, we went to Catholic school, you know what I'm saying? St. Bernadette, Maria Regina, different things. But majority of my time, I've been locked up, you know, YA school, you know, juvenile hall and all that. So
when did you want to become a part of Twilight Zone?
Like 87, like, cause it was like so active over here as far as like I said, when I used to be twisting the clients off and getting money and moving around, there was so many of the homies that used to be out, you know what I'm saying? That was back before, you know what I'm saying, the sheriff started taking a gang of motherfuckers to jail, you know what I'm saying, when they had to fuck up laws. So it was so many motherfuckers out, and it was just like fun as far as, you know, just out, just all of a sudden one day, you know, I ended up getting put on and got my T-hat with the dude you had spoke to earlier with the Compton swap meet, and I'm just on the scene and then shit. It was just like, you know, that's when I was already bad, but it seemed like I got more badder like once I got into that, you know, getting kicked out of school, you know what I'm saying, getting caught with this, guns, selling weed, drugs, you know what I'm saying, where moms are shipping to Louisiana with pops, I'm out there bad. I ended up coming back. When I came back, we started stealing cars, doing stuff, ended up going to juvenile hall at a young age. Then once I went to juvenile hall, I was like, oh, they put me in a cell. I was like a kid. I was like, oh my God, process, man, I ain't ready for this. But then once I got to the units, and you know, dudes a few little years older than me, like my little cousin my cousin Big Bam from Left Mate, his little homie Lil Bam was like banging, and you know, a lot of dudes banging, so I'm watching them. You know, they taught motherfucker how to bang, how to survive in juvenile hall. Then once that became, you know, it was just like that, getting out. You know what I'm saying? Like I got out the pen. You know, we respected our big homies back then, so you know, I admired the big homies and you know, just the whole gang banging element, because it was like the Jerry curls and the khakis. You know, I remember the golf hats when I was a kid, so I had cousins that was banging. So it was just the, you know, the environment, you know, it was just an active, it was just fun, basically. You know what I'm saying?
About once you started joining, how do you deal with how did your parents react to it? What was your starting with you? What was your mom's reaction, or was you living with your mom still at the time when you joined? And what was her reaction?
I mean,
when she found out?
Honestly, you know, I was so naive to think that she didn't know what the motherfucker was doing, right? So I was always in denial. What? No, I ain't from shit. But you know, as I sit back now, we done had talk. She like, you know, I knew what you was doing, and it came to a point to it. One time I was probably about 13 or 14, man. She was just like, I'm gonna tell you like this: whatever you doing, you just make sure you do it right and you give it your all. Don't be no pussy about whatever you doing, because you can't be halfway with nothing you do. You ain't gonna succeed at it. Yeah. You know what I mean? And you know, she wasn't really fairly open to it. But you know, like I say, like she was more big on school. So you know, like I said, I was going to school handling my business, but it was when I be away from school, like, you know, gun cases, getting caught, the police calling her to come picking me up. But I'm gonna tell you this, man, I'm just being real. You know, like it was my mama. Like, you know, I'm her son. It's like a certain point to where all you can do is pray. So she just basically stayed praying for a nigga, man, because it was like it wasn't really nothing she could do. Like, you know, when a kid mind is set on something, you know, parents, people, outsiders looking at can say, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. It's only so much you can do to stop a motherfucker. You know, she's not gonna go to the laws on me. So she gave me some ass whoopings after a while. She seen that wasn't working, some punishment. Oh, I'm not doing this. But it was like I had a lot of leverage because my grades was never fucked up. It was just like when this motherfucker ain't at school, he ain't on the football field, he ain't on the basketball court, his ass is in trouble. He's in the hood, you know what I mean?
A single mom has a difficult time trying to control a growing boy.
Exactly.
Yeah. You know, without a father present. Would you say?
Yeah, I would say that, yeah, especially, you know, by the time moms did get married, my mom was already made up, you know what I'm saying? Like I say, excellent dude as far as that go. They've been married 25 years now, but my mind was already made up on what I was going to do, and I wasn't trying to hear what he was talking about.
Thanks for watching StreetTV.net. If you're not subscribed, please hit that button below and click the bell to receive alerts and notifications. Feel free to comment below so you can give us your feedback, and be sure to watch the 2 related episodes to the right. If you want to support this platform or follow us on social media, visit the links in the description. And thanks for watching StreetTV.net.